Anulum Fortis, a perspective on critical thinking, is a short documentary scheduled for release in 2024. This perspective may not resonate with violent individuals. What are your desires? Do you feel like there's an ongoing war within your life, mind and heart? Imagine a world without weapons. What would it look like? How could those resources be used, and what difference would it make? Section 1. A world transformed, reallocating military spending for humanity. The world spends nearly $2.5 trillion annually on its militaries. This staggering sum represents a colossal investment in weapons, armies and conflict. Imagine if even a fraction of this amount were redirected towards peace, progress and human well-being. What if, instead of funding fighter jets and tanks, we funded schools, hospitals and sustainable energy? This is not a utopian dream, but a pragmatic possibility. By reallocating military spending, we can create a world where every child has access to education, where diseases are eradicated, and where poverty becomes a relic of the past. This video essay will explore the transformative potential of redirecting global military expenditures towards human development. We will examine the tangible benefits of investing in healthcare, education, environmental protection, and poverty reduction. Using data-driven evidence and real-world examples, we will demonstrate the extraordinary progress that can be achieved by prioritizing peace over conflict. This is not merely an idealistic plea, but a call to action, urging policymakers, thought leaders and citizens alike to reconsider our global priorities. The time has come to shift our focus from preparing for war to investing in a future where human potential can flourish. By redirecting our resources towards education, healthcare and sustainable development, we can create a world that is not only more peaceful, but also more prosperous and just. This is the promise of a world transformed, a world where the pursuit of peace is not a naive hope, but a strategic imperative for a brighter future. The journey towards this future begins with a single step, acknowledging the immense opportunity cost of our current military spending. By recognizing the transformative potential of reallocating these funds, we can unlock a future where humanity's collective resources are directed towards building a world where everyone can thrive. Section 2. The Price of Peace, a Glimmer of Hope. The Stockholm International Peace Research Institute estimates that global military expenditure reached $1.96 trillion in 2022. This represents 2.2% of global GDP and equates to approximately $250 for every person on Earth. Even a modest reduction in this spending could free up substantial resources for human development. For instance, a 10% reduction in global military spending would yield nearly $200 billion annually. This redirected funding could have a profound impact on global health. The World Health Organization estimates that $7.5 billion annually is needed to eradicate malaria. A mere 4% of the funds saved from a 10% reduction in military spending could eradicate this deadly disease, saving millions of lives. Similarly, the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria estimates that $28 billion annually is needed to end AIDS by 2030. Redirecting a small fraction of global military spending could make this goal a reality. These are just two examples of the transformative potential of reallocating military spending. Imagine the possibilities if we redirected a larger portion of these funds. We could provide universal healthcare, ensure quality education for all children, invest in renewable energy, and lift millions out of poverty. The resources exist. What is lacking is the political will to make this shift. The choice is clear: continue investing in weapons and conflict, or invest in people and progress. The former perpetuates a cycle of violence and instability. The latter offers a path towards a more peaceful, prosperous and just world. The price of peace, it turns out, is not as high as we might think. It is a price we can afford and a price we must be willing to pay. Section 3. Healthcare revolutionized, lives saved, potential unleashed. Imagine a world where access to quality healthcare is not a privilege but a right, where diseases like malaria and polio are distant memories, and where life expectancy soars across the globe. This vision is well within reach if we reallocate even a fraction of global military spending towards healthcare. The World Health Organization estimates that universal health coverage, which would provide essential health services to everyone on the planet, would cost an additional $371 billion annually. This figure may seem daunting, but it pales compared to the $1.96 trillion spent annually on militaries. Redirecting just 19% of global military spending would be sufficient to fund universal health coverage, transforming the lives of billions. This investment would yield significant returns, not only in terms of improved health outcomes, but also in terms of economic growth and human development. A healthier population is a more productive population. By investing in healthcare, we invest in human capital, unlocking the potential of individuals to contribute to society. Furthermore, universal healthcare would reduce the financial burden of illness on families and individuals, freeing up resources for education, entrepreneurship, and other forms of economic activity. The benefits of reallocating military spending towards healthcare are undeniable. It is a matter of prioritizing human well-being over military might, of investing in life-affirming services instead of instruments of destruction. The choice is ours to make, and the time to act is now. Section 4. Education empowered cultivating minds, building futures. Education is the cornerstone of individual and societal progress. It empowers individuals with knowledge, skills, and critical thinking abilities, enabling them to lead fulfilling lives and contribute to their communities. Yet, millions of children worldwide are denied the right to education due to poverty, conflict, and discrimination. UNESCO estimates that $40 billion annually is needed to provide quality primary and secondary education to all children globally. This represents a mere 2% of global military spending. Investing in education is not just a moral imperative, it is also a smart investment. Educated individuals are more likely to be employed, earn higher incomes, and contribute to economic growth. They are also more likely to be healthy, engaged citizens who contribute to peace and stability. By educating our children, we invest in a brighter future for all. Imagine a world where every child, regardless of their background or circumstances, has the opportunity to reach their full potential. A world where classrooms are equipped with the latest technology, where teachers are well trained and supported, and where every student has access to a quality education that prepares them for the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. This is the world we can create by redirecting even a small portion of global military spending towards education. The choice is clear: invest in weapons or invest in minds. The former perpetuates a cycle of violence and instability. The latter empowers generations to come with the knowledge and skills to build a more peaceful, prosperous and just world. Let us choose wisely and invest in the future of humanity. Section 5. Environmental regeneration, healing the planet, securing our future. The climate crisis is one of the most pressing challenges facing humanity today. From rising sea levels to extreme weather events, the consequences of climate change are already being felt around the globe. Addressing this crisis requires a fundamental shift in our priorities, including a reallocation of resources from military spending to environmental protection. The United Nations Environment Programme estimates that $1.7 trillion annually is needed to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, many of which are directly related to environmental sustainability. This investment would accelerate the transition to renewable energy, protect biodiversity, and build resilience to climate change impacts. It would create millions of green jobs, improve public health, and safeguard the planet for future generations. Redirecting even a fraction of global military spending towards environmental protection would be a game changer in the fight against climate change. Imagine a world where clean energy powers our homes and industries, where forests are thriving, and where cities are designed for sustainability and resilience. A world where we live in harmony with nature instead of waging war against it. This is the future we can create by investing in environmental regeneration. The choice is clear: invest in weapons of war or invest in the health of our planet. The former exacerbates the climate crisis and jeopardizes our future. The latter offers a path towards a sustainable and thriving world for generations to come. Let us choose wisely and invest in the only home we have. Section 6. Poverty's Last Stand. Uplifting communities, sharing prosperity. Poverty is a complex and multifaceted issue, but one thing is clear. It thrives in environments of conflict and instability. Military spending, by its very nature, diverts resources away from addressing the root causes of poverty, such as lack of access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunity. The World Bank estimates that $175 billion annually is needed to end extreme poverty by 2030. This represents less than 9% of global military spending. Imagine a world where every individual has the opportunity to live a life of dignity and purpose. A world where poverty is not a life sentence, but a challenge that we can overcome together through collective action and shared prosperity. This is the world we can create by redirecting military spending towards poverty eradication. This investment would support programs that provide education, healthcare, clean water and sanitation to those living in poverty. It would also create economic opportunities through microfinance initiatives, job training programs, and investments in infrastructure. By empowering individuals and communities, we can break the cycle of poverty and unleash the potential of billions. The choice is clear. Invest in weapons that perpetuate conflict and poverty, or invest in people and programs that uplift communities and create a more just and equitable world. Let us choose compassion over conflict and invest in a future where poverty is a relic of the past. Section 7. Infrastructure Renaissance, building bridges, not walls. Investing in infrastructure is crucial for economic growth, social development, and environmental sustainability. From transportation networks to energy grids to water and sanitation systems, infrastructure underpins modern society. Yet, trillions of dollars are needed to bridge the global infrastructure gap, particularly in developing countries. The Global Infrastructure Hub estimates that $94 trillion in infrastructure investments will be needed by 2040 to meet global demand. This is a daunting figure, but it represents a historic opportunity to create jobs, boost economic growth, and improve the quality of life for billions of people. Imagine a world connected by high-speed rail, powered by renewable energy, and equipped with resilient infrastructure that can withstand the impacts of climate change. This is the world we can create by redirecting military spending towards a global infrastructure renaissance. This investment would create millions of jobs in construction, engineering, and related industries, providing a much-needed boost to the global economy. It would also improve access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities for millions of people in developing countries, fostering greater equality and shared prosperity. The choice is clear. Invest in walls that divide us, or invest in bridges that connect us. The former perpetuates fear and insecurity. The latter fosters cooperation, innovation, and progress. Let us choose to build a world where infrastructure serves as a foundation for peace and prosperity for all. Section 8. The Innovation Dividend, Unlocking Human Potential. Military spending is often justified on the grounds that it drives technological innovation. While it is true that military research and development have led to spin-offs with civilian applications such as the Internet and GPS, this argument ignores the opportunity cost of directing such vast resources towards military purposes. Imagine the pace of innovation if even a fraction of global military spending were redirected towards research and development in fields like renewable energy, medicine, and education. A world where scientists are racing to develop cures for diseases rather than more efficient weapons of war. A world where engineers are focused on building sustainable cities and transportation systems, not drones and fighter jets. This is the world we can create by unlocking the innovation dividend of peace. Investing in scientific research and technological development in civilian sectors would lead to breakthroughs in areas such as renewable energy, climate change mitigation, disease prevention, and sustainable agriculture. These advancements would not only improve the quality of life for billions of people, but also create new industries and jobs, driving economic growth and prosperity. The choice is clear. Invest in the tools of destruction or invest in the tools of creation. The former leads to a future of fear and uncertainty. The latter unlocks the boundless potential of human ingenuity to solve our greatest challenges and create a brighter future for all. Let us choose to invest in the power of human innovation to build a more peaceful, sustainable and prosperous world. Section 9. A world without war, redefining security, embracing cooperation. The concept of security has long been dominated by a military-centric worldview, where national interests are pursued through the accumulation of weapons and the threat of force. This approach has led to a perpetual cycle of arms races, proxy wars, and global instability. It is time to redefine security in the 21st century, recognizing that true security lies not in military might, but in human security. Human security is a people-centered approach that prioritizes the well-being of individuals and communities, addressing threats to their safety, livelihoods, and dignity. Imagine a world where diplomacy and cooperation replace aggression and conflict as the primary means of resolving disputes. A world where countries invest in diplomacy, conflict resolution, and peacekeeping efforts rather than military build-ups. This is the world we can create by embracing a new paradigm of human security. This paradigm shift requires a fundamental change in our thinking about international relations. It requires a recognition that global challenges such as climate change, pandemics, and economic inequality cannot be solved through military force. Instead, they demand global cooperation, shared responsibility, and a commitment to multilateralism. The choice is clear. Cling to the outdated notion of security through military dominance, or embrace a new era of human security based on cooperation, diplomacy, and shared prosperity. The former leads to a future of perpetual conflict and instability. The latter offers a path towards a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world for all. Let us choose to build a world where security is defined not by the absence of war, but by the presence of peace, justice, and opportunity for all. Section 10. The challenges of transformation, navigating resistance and building consensus. Transforming global priorities from military spending to human development will not be easy. It will require overcoming significant challenges, including vested interests, entrenched ideologies, and the complex geopolitics of a multipolar world. Powerful actors such as the military-industrial complex benefit from the status quo and will resist any attempt to reduce military spending. Furthermore, shifting from a security paradigm based on military strength to one based on human security requires a fundamental shift in mindset for many policymakers and citizens. This shift will require education, dialogue, and a willingness to challenge long-held assumptions about the nature of security and the role of military force in international relations. Building a global consensus on reallocating military spending will also require addressing the legitimate security concerns of all nations. This includes finding ways to address conflicts peacefully, prevent the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, and combat terrorism and organized crime. It also requires addressing the root causes of conflict, such as poverty, inequality, and lack of opportunity. Overcoming these challenges will require a concerted effort from governments, civil society organizations, and individuals around the world. It will require building a powerful global movement for peace and human security, one that can challenge the status quo and advocate for a fundamental realignment of global priorities. This movement must be grounded in evidence-based arguments, moral clarity, and a shared vision of a world where human well-being takes precedence over military might. Section 11. The power of collective action, a roadmap for change. Despite the challenges, a shift towards prioritizing human development over military spending is achievable. History is replete with examples of social movements that have successfully challenged entrenched power structures and brought about transformative change. The abolition of slavery, the suffrage movement, the civil rights movement, and the fight against apartheid demonstrate collective action's power to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. A similar movement is needed today to challenge the dominance of military spending in global affairs. This movement must be international in scope, uniting people from all walks of life around a common goal, creating a world where every dollar spent on weapons is a dollar invested in peace, progress and human well-being. Several concrete steps can be taken to advance this goal. First, we need to raise awareness about the scale of global military spending and its opportunity cost. This can be achieved through education, public awareness campaigns and media engagement. Second, we must build a coalition of governments, civil society organisations and individuals committed to reducing military spending and redirecting those resources towards human development. This coalition can work together to advocate for policy changes at the national and international levels. Third, we need to develop alternative security models that prioritise diplomacy, conflict resolution and human security. This includes investing in diplomacy, conflict prevention, peacekeeping and peace-building efforts. We must promote a peace culture that values cooperation, dialogue and mutual understanding. This requires investing in education, intercultural exchange and initiatives that promote tolerance and respect for diversity. Transforming global priorities from military spending to human development is a daunting but achievable goal. It requires a collective awakening to the interconnectedness of our world and the realization that proper security lies not in military might, but in our shared humanity. By working together, we can create a world where peace is not just the absence of war, but the presence of justice, opportunity and well-being for all. Section 12. A brighter future within reach. Embracing a new paradigm. The world stands at a crossroads. We can continue down the path of militarism and conflict, a path that has led to untold suffering, instability and environmental degradation. Or we can choose a different path, one that prioritizes human well-being, social progress and environmental sustainability. This path requires a fundamental shift in our priorities, a reallocation of resources from military spending to human development. This is not a utopian dream, but a pragmatic necessity. The challenges facing humanity in the 21st century, climate change, pandemics, poverty, inequality, cannot be solved through military force. They demand cooperation, innovation, and a shared commitment to building a more just and sustainable world. The choice is clear. We can continue to invest in weapons of war, or we can invest in the tools of peace education, healthcare, environmental protection, and poverty eradication. The former perpetuates a cycle of violence and fear. The latter offers a path towards a brighter future for all. The time for change is now. Let us choose wisely and embrace a new paradigm where human security trumps military might, and where the pursuit of peace is not a naive hope, but a strategic imperative for a brighter future. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content.